每个理想都有实现的可能。4年来，小银科技以智慧金融助力1800万人逐梦前行。小银科技给理想前行的力量。
本节目由小银科技冠名播出。在西雅图市中心著名的帕克广场坐落着一家小咖啡馆，那里是星巴克之父霍华德·舒尔茨梦开始的地方。在他掌舵星巴克的约40年时间里，这间小门店扩张到了全球77个国家，拥有超过28000家连锁店。他一手打造出了自己的咖啡帝国。舒尔茨出生于纽约布鲁克林一个贫困工人家庭，年幼时饱尝生活艰辛。他在学业上异常努力，希望用教育改变自己的社会阶层，靠贷款完成了美国北密歇根大学的学业。1982年，他加入星巴克，而当时的星巴克还是一家只烘焙和出售咖啡豆的古板咖啡店，门店数量也非常有限。1983年，舒尔茨在意大利采购期间，被当地独特的强调人与人连接的咖啡馆文化所打动。1985年，他离开星巴克自立门户，成立为顾客提供适宜社交环境的意式咖啡品牌。2年后，又从原创始人手中买下星巴克，与自己的店面合并，统一改名为星巴克。今年6月26日，现年65岁的舒尔茨脱下了那套绿色的围裙，正式退休了。他从全球最大咖啡连锁店的 CEO 变成了一位普通的丈夫和2个孩子的父亲。不久前，舒尔茨来到星巴克北京坊旗舰店，开始了他对星巴克中国最后的告别。在结束一切后，他将如何安排自己的生活？作为星巴克的灵魂所在，他的谢幕对于星巴克来说又意味着什么呢？
I heard from your colleague, you don't like the word retirement?
It's not a word that I'm very comfortable with. You know, I have such love and passion for Starbucks. I will always be involved in some way with Starbucks, so I don't like the word retirement. I think I'm too young for that word.
Okay, but how would you describe your current status if we don't use
So I officially left the company last week, and there was a tremendous amount of parties and celebrations and a lot of emotion, as you might imagine. And what I've decided to do is I want to travel around the world, and we're in 77 countries, and thank our partners for what they have done. And I thought the right place to start would be China.
Why?
Well, I've been coming here for more than 20 years. I have a lot of friends here, and I'm incredibly thankful for what we have done here. It wasn't always easy, and yet here we are with almost 3,400 stores in 140 cities, but it's more than that. It's the feeling of what we've accomplished here. It's the relationship we have with customers. And also I think we've done some things in a very unique way. We've given health care to the parents of our employees. We've given ownership. We've been involved for almost 20 years with the Sun Chin Ling Foundation. And I've always been fascinated with the Chinese culture, so I thought it was the right place to start. And
Okay, so I read a lot of speech you gave before. You always mention you're trying to balance the economic benefit with social impact.
Yes.
For the Starbucks. For entrepreneurs, that's a very important quality.
Well, as many people know, I grew up as a very poor kid in public housing in New York, in Brooklyn. And that experience defined my life in so many ways. I knew what it meant to be poor. I knew what it meant not to have things. So when we were building the company, I was very sensitive to try and make sure that regardless of the color of your skin, where you were born, rich or poor, whatever your ethnic background was, that we were going to respect you and dignify you. And I wanted to try and build a company so that the respect and dignity was very much imprinted in the philosophy and the culture of the company. And so when I think about the world today, Starbucks is not a example for running a country, but it is an example of a deep sense of empathy, of compassion, of love, and respect for everybody. And I think we could all learn from that. The world today is a very dangerous place. There's a lot of tension going on, and I think we need a little bit more humility and sensitivity. I think we would be better for that.
Okay, so after this trip, you're going to join to more social activities to deliver those messages.
Well, I'm going to have the first summer off in 40 years. So I'll be with my wife, my kids, my grandkids all summer long for the first time. And we're going to have a great time, we have a lot of plans. And then after that, what I've said publicly, I'm going to take a step back and examine what I might do. And I don't know. What I do know is I want to make a difference in the world. I want to give back to people who are being left behind. And I don't know what that will mean. We'll have to see.
如今呢，星巴克在中国市场已经开出了将近3500家门店，中国呢也成为了星巴克在北美之外的第2大市场。但是呢，星巴克在中国的位置其实并不是牢不可破的。近2年来呢，很多人都感受到中国的咖啡市场竞争越来越激烈，诞生了很多迅速发展的互联网咖啡品牌。而同时呢，面对着中美贸易战这样的大环境，星巴克可以说迎来了自己的新的挑战。而我们回忆将近20年以前的1999年，那个时候星巴克刚刚进入中国市场，它面临着似乎一个更大的问题，那就是如何在一个茶文化的故乡里面卖咖啡。
Starbucks actually is doing very well nowadays, but
Yes.
I know it was in challenges. So what could be defined as the first turning point for Starbucks here?
Yeah. Well, when we came to China 20 years ago, many people thought we would not succeed here. And the truth is we were not an overnight success. It took a number of years because we had to educate Chinese people about quality coffee. But what took place was our stores became, in a sense, this third place between home and work and a sense of community and the intimacy of the relationship between our people and the customer. And people started really enjoying the coffee. And I think Starbucks' reputation around the world is many young people who knew Starbucks, had seen Starbucks either in a movie or tasted Starbucks in another city. So we captured the imagination of young people very early on. And then, of course, last year, opening up the roastery in Shanghai was a turning point, not only for Starbucks here in China, but around the world. Have you seen it?
It's the largest store in China?
It is the largest store in the world.
In the world.
But we are opening the next roastery in Milan in September. And this store here is emblematic of the roastery and a store that we're so proud of because everyone in Beijing has embraced it in such a large number. So, I mean, I'm so appreciative and so thankful, and I had to start in China before I went anywhere else.
Okay. You know, China was traditionally considered as a hometown of tea cultures.
Yeah.
And time passed by, the market changed dramatically. Nowadays, the many coffee startups emerging in China.
Yeah.
And they always say, you know, Starbucks as their competitors.
Well, I think I was telling someone earlier today, everywhere in the world, and certainly in the US, we've always had competitors. And I said something to our team yesterday that I think they were surprised by. And I said, competition is healthy. Competition is good for Starbucks. The more good coffee in the market and the more Chinese people get exposed to good coffee, the better off we will be. Also, I think it's important to note, as successful as we have been, we're not entitled to our success. We have to earn it. And so competition makes us better, sharper, and I think the taste of Starbucks coffee always proves to our customers what the real thing is and what's authentic and what's true. And I'm very excited because we're now sourcing and roasting coffee from Yunnan. And the Chinese customers have really embraced that, and it's wonderful. And we are now the largest buyer of high-grade coffee in the world from the Yunnan province. So it's another example of Starbucks investing back into China. And I have an idea where I want to bring Yunnan coffee to the world in the same way that we have enabled Colombian coffee to be famous all over the world. And I think that's possible.
So in the past 40 years, what's actually the core competence for Starbucks? You know, back to 40 years ago, if we want to not only just selling coffee, but also try to create a place for people to connect, communicate, relax, it's kind of new. But today, many coffee companies also try to build that atmosphere. What's the uniqueness for Starbucks?
I think people all over the world are longing for a human connection. Certainly technology has enabled us to do many things, but it also has created a separation where we spend more time on our device than we do with others. And I think coffee has always been part of conversation. Coffee brings people together. And Starbucks stores, look how beautiful this store is designed. We're not just opening up a store. We take great pleasure in the elements of architecture and design to ensure the fact that when our customers come into the store, not only are they drinking the highest quality of coffee, but they're in an environment that is pleasing to them, that is uplifting, and that's part of the success of the company. So yes, other people are doing this, but I think that's okay. There's plenty of room for many people to succeed, but we feel we have an alternative choice that we think is better.
虽然是一名商人，但舒尔茨对政治很感兴趣，频繁对公共事务以及政治发表评论，曾被美国媒体称为美国政治上最直言不讳的公司领导人之一。有传言称，他将竞选2020年的美国总统。一直以来，舒尔茨在同性恋婚姻、少数族裔以及移民问题上都抱有开放包容的态度。他也曾直言，非常担忧我们的国家。而对于目前紧张的中美贸易局势，舒尔茨也表示过担忧。 呼吁采取不掺杂意识形态的方式来解决问题。
Well, it's interesting because when I sit down with our young Chinese partners and I ask them, what are your dreams?
Yeah. What's their answer?
It's a very common answer. They say their dreams is to do everything they can to take care of their parents and to have a better life for their children. Now, interestingly enough, if I was sitting with a young group of American Starbucks people, they would say pretty much the same thing. So when I hear that, and I think about the current tension that exists in the world and the current issues around trade between the US and China, what I would say is that I believe that there are many more similarities than differences around humanity, what we want for our family, what we want for each other. I also strongly believe that the world, the entire world, needs a very strong, trusting relationship between the Chinese and the United States people, and I'm hopeful that will occur.
Okay. The last question.
Yeah.
So what's your expectation for Starbucks' future? We always say in the next 5 years.
Sure.
Yeah, and also under this huge tension of the global
Yeah.
relationship and even the trade relationship. What's the biggest challenges you think Starbucks face?
Well, we will be celebrating in a year and a half our 50th anniversary.
Happy birthday.
And so we have, as you might imagine, we have navigated through many, many cyclical changes in society, consumer behavior, government issues, and I'm quite confident that over the next 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, Starbucks Coffee Company is going to continue to build a great, enduring company. And my confidence globally and my confidence in China, and I've said this publicly, is that China will emerge as the largest market in the world for Starbucks. Not because we will have 10,000 stores or whatever the number will be, but because we will earn the respect of the Chinese people, our employees, our partners, and do everything we can to be the kind of company that people can point to and say they did it the right way. They didn't come to China and take something. They came to China and they gave back. That's why we will continue to be successful.